Hello and welcome to the Tower Circus in Blackpool for the second session of this year's Mosconi Cup. The Europeans are the defending champions and are hoping to win again this year to make it 7 wins in the last 8. But the Americans are out for revenge after some humiliating results over the past few Mosconi Cups, and they have some new players in their lineup and hope this will bring them success. There's a great lineup of matches in store on day 2, and it all kicks off with Niels Feijen and Mark Gray up against the 2 rookies Justin Bergman and Justin Hall. Then it'll be a mixture of singles and doubles as each team makes a bid to win 11 points and lift the Mosconi Cup. Before the action gets underway, let's take a look back at how day 1 played out. In the opening team game, it was a baptism of fire for the young Americans. They suffered a disappointing 5-1 defeat, and Europe secured their first point. In the first doubles game, Darren Appleton and Carl Boyes were up against Justin Hall and Corey Jewell. It was a close encounter. The Europeans missed a crucial 9-ball, and the Americans levelled the overall score. Following that result, Team USA's momentum continued. John Schmidt silenced any doubters as he got his team into the lead with a crafty 3-9 combination. In the final doubles match of the evening, Nikos Economopoulos and Niels Feijen took a comfortable win against Justin Bergman and Shane Van Boening. The Americans had no answer as mistakes were punished. And in the last match of the night, Shane Van Boening took on Darren Appleton. It was a high-quality nip-and-tuck affair. However, Van Boening had a dry break in the 7th, and Appleton moved a rack away from victory.
Easy, Jerry, in for the kill.
Yeah, I believe we're going to see a combo on that 9-ball. Indeed. 4-9 combo for the match.
Quiet, please. Thank you. Quiet, please.
4-9. All is fine for Europe.
Appleton celebrating a great win there, which edged his team into the lead. It was a terrific night of pool action here in Blackpool, and this is confirmation of all the results. Europe eventually securing a 3-2 lead at the end of the session. It was disappointment for Team USA, however. Jim White caught up with the American captain and his advisor to get an insight into their strategy.
I'm here with Mark Wilson and his good buddy Amir, and you knew it was going to be difficult. You knew what the opposition was going to present. I don't think you had any idea what sort of environment you're going to be walking into.
Well, we knew it would be an ambush. You never know exactly how it's going to be, and it was daunting, but the electric environment kind of made us rise up and maybe do a little bit better, too.
And the preparation leading up to this, has anything changed now after day 1?
I think now we're still standing. We withstood that, and now we know what we're up against and can expect it, and I think I anticipate a really spirited match tonight as well.
Now, tell us a bit about Amir and his background.
Lieutenant Commander Amir Pishdad, U.S. Navy SEAL, and the biggest thing he has, relentless positivity. And that's crucial because you know you're going to be tested, you know you're going to be down, you're going to face adversity, but if you're ever prone to break down, if you're prone to go negative at all, you can't do this.
Now, Amir, I'm assuming you were a bit of a pool fan before this started.
Absolutely, yes.
Has that been elevated at all?
Tremendously, yes, sir.
I think it's fair to say it was a disappointing finish to day 1.
I wasn't disappointed because I saw relentless dedication and determination, the no-quit attitude of what it takes to be a United States Navy SEAL. But it's the challenge that is most intriguing of this game and the competition to outwit the other opponent. That is kind of like what we do in Navy SEAL training, where it's honor, courage, and commitment that's required to complete the training. And a focus on the goal and a never-ending belief in yourself that you can do it. But in this case, for the Mosconi Cup, we're looking at teamwork.
Where were you when I was playing snooker, Amir? I could have used somebody like you.
I'm always available anytime.
You guys have really stressed fundamentals, and you've come up with a very unique program to to try and instill that sort of thing in the players, haven't you?
Some of the training methods we use are a little bit cutting edge in terms of how it's been taught before. We use radar guns for different ball speeds on stop shots and things like that to see just how effective you're hitting the cue ball. All 5 of these guys dramatically improved over the course of the year, and it was quantifiable and measurable.
The American players, to a man, applauded every good shot that the Europeans played. I thought that was admirable.
Yeah, well, we love great pool, and this is world-class pool. I mean, if you're not inspired by this, there's nothing more for you in the sport.
I wouldn't assume there'd be a lot of change in the philosophy, but have you thought a little harder about how you're going to lay out the players going into day 2?
I think some people feel like, oh boy, you're 3-2 behind. That's pretty good showing. No, we were a little bit disappointed because I didn't know that we were going to win 5-0, but I kind of thought maybe 4-1 was a realistic number to obtain. I feel like somebody's going to get hurt today.
There will be blood. Yeah. Gentlemen, thank you very, very much for joining me and giving us all a little look inside the heart and soul of Team USA.
Time now then for the 21st Mosconi Cup to continue. It's a race to 11 points and the second session gets underway with a doubles game. It's Niels Feijen and Mark Gray up against Justin Bergman and Justin Hall. Europe looking to extend their lead and the USA determined not to fall behind as they have done in previous years. Your commentators for this one are Phil Yates and Jim Weich.
The American pairing, the rookies, put together by Captain Mark Wilson, up against the stalwarts, the reigning world 9-ball champion in Niels Feijen, and the #1 player, the first player picked for Team Europe, Mark Gray. Phil, you have to believe this is going to be a tall order for the Americans.
Very much so, but I was talking to Mark Wilson around 20 minutes ago, and he said the two Justins are like brothers. They grew up together in the great state of Illinois, but that lag attempt from Bergman was frankly pathetic.
Well, if that's an indication, he's feeling it, and he's human, why wouldn't he? The break to initiate things, day 2. Here from the Tower Circus in Blackpool, buckle in.
Race to 5.
The Mosconi Cup
Nice and quiet, please.
is on your screen. Terrific break from Niels there. And he's left his left-handed partner. Now you've got to be a little careful here as we see the break again from Niels. You've got a left-hander and a right-hander. And in Scotch doubles, you've just got to know, a left-hander, you've got to leave that cue ball into an area where he's not picking up the rake or the rest. Keep it easy.
The nudges worked out perfectly.
Oh, they couldn't have played that any better, Phil. He's even developed the 5. What a dream start. What a great shot from Granite Mark Gray.
He lost last night to John Schmidt in the singles, but don't be confused. He played high-quality pool, 3 break-in run-outs. It was just that Schmidt had 4.
Yes, the performance of day 1 for me from John Schmidt. Mark Gray, as well as he played, he probably would have beat a lot of players under those conditions. And the level that he put out, just not John Schmidt on the day. But so important. You know this crowd, they're surging. They're just looking for an excuse to get into it.
It's a milestone Mosconi Cup match for Niels Feijen. He's 50th over the years in this tournament. He would love to make it a golden outcome.
I wasn't too sure how this pairing would perform because they really do play an opposite style of pool. Mark Gray, very much an aggressive player, and Feijen, very measured in his approach, mechanical. Early indications would have to say these two look pretty comfortable with each other.
That was interesting. A few snooker fans in the audience after that positional shot from Feijen were worried. But the 8 ball was no sweat for Gray. And the 9 ball, no sweat for Feijen. First blood this evening goes to the Europeans.
Welcome back to the Mosconi Cup at the Tower Circus in Blackpool. At the table right now, it's a doubles match, and before the break, Europe hit a tricky shot on the 2 ball to pave the way to winning the first rack, and they're looking on target to extend their lead overall. It's a race to 5 racks for a win. Let's hand back to your commentary team of Phil Yates and Jim Weich.
Mark Gray, terrific player, as I said. He was the first player named, and he honed his skills on the Great Britain 9-ball tour. That's the official 9-ball tour in the UK here, and players like Carl Boyes, Chris Melling, Daryl Peach, Raj Hundal, all regulars, and 96 players at double elimination. What a tour it is. Arguably one of the toughest on the planet. And, you know, just Google GB9 and you'll learn more about the Great Britain 9-ball tour. We've got them to thank for Mark Gray.
USA to break, trailing 1 rack to 0. Nice and quiet, please. Nice and quiet, please.
So Justin Hall breaking off in rack number 2.
Well, that's a great break too, Phil. Very nice. Toughest shot might be the one that is facing Justin Bergman right now, but what a great break by Hall. So here it comes from the 3 to the 4. This is the key shot. The 5 in close proximity to the 4. One good positional shot here, and the rack they'll have by the scruff of the neck. Two of the young guns on Team USA. 25, Justin Bergman, 27 years of age. His good pal, Justin Hall. Nice shot right there. Again, the speed was really everything in that effort. And just slightly overhit this. You'd far rather have your man shooting it than sitting in the chair. But nothing can be taken for granted. There's so much pressure out there. Throw to the pocket, courtesy of Justin Hall and Team USA on level pegging, 1 apiece. And so far, 2 terrific breaks from either side, and now it goes back to Team Europe.
Well, it's been flawless pool apart from Justin Bergman's lag. Very good indeed.
They won the first match on day 1, got the crowd into it. You know they want to start day 2 the same way. I mentioned just in presenting the program with Andy Goldstein that every day Johan Rushing expects a win from his side. They just want to win the day and let everything else take care of itself. Last year, they had a whitewash. They hammered Team USA a couple days. But I think they expect a little bit more from this American team.
1-1.
They have prepared.
Now Mark Gray needs an effective break here. Might be a slight weakness in his game.
Ball down and a chance at the one. Cutting it back to the top right. 6 ball into the corner pocket. Everything's pretty much in the open here, Phil. Just got to keep control of Whitey there.
Yes, there'll be no European complaints after that break, especially where the cue ball came to rest. It could have been a whole lot worse.
Niels Feijen arguably playing some of the best 9-ball of his life. Last year's MVP in this event. He went on to win the World 9-ball Championship. He has been a force in every event he's entered.
Slightly overstunned that, but better to be there than on the other side of the red 3-ball.
No, and he'll need some angle in knocking this 3 into the top corner on the pink 4, Phil, because he's got to get over the other side of the table for the 5. And that would be the orange 5 just near the right side pocket. There are a few players in the world that cope with pressure better than Niels. You heard Mark. He's going to thump this in and play position to the corner for Niels. Doesn't mind being just off straight here. The 7, the next ball, closest to it. Feijen partnering Economopoulos yesterday in a 5-1 demolition of Shane Van Boning and Justin Bergman. And you know, Phil, given the alternating break format, you wouldn't expect to see too many one-sided scores.
Perhaps the most surprising aspect of day 1, we didn't have a hill-hill contest.
Slow drag shot. One of the weapons in Niels Feijen's arsenal. And for a 2-1 lead. 9 goes down, courtesy of Mark Granite Gray, and it is a 2-1 lead to Europe. A very important first point awaits here on day 2. Join us after the break. The Mosconi Cup will continue. Pool action personified here in Blackpool. It's day 2, and there's your order of play. It will all unfold. Doubles to start, then singles, and then another doubles match. And we will follow that with singles and close it out with a doubles match yet again. 10 points will be in the books after day 2. And as yet, no idea how this one's going to unfold. Now another useful break, but has he left his partner a chance at the 2? Very close.
I think he can see it, Jim. I really do.
Position's not going to be easy though, Phil, because that cue ball is going to be contacting the 6. But you're right, he can see enough of this to make it. And he's going to have to negotiate the contact on the 6 to get back up for the 3. Tricky little shot here for Justin Hall. Well, that didn't work out too bad. He can see the 3. And he's got the angle, it looks like, to take the cue ball up table for the 4. This hasn't worked out too badly at all. Got to play this into the side. Oh, that's a real confidence-boosting shot. Great shot from Justin Bergman.
Best shot we've seen so far in the match. Beautiful. Every rack has been a break and run out, and there's no reason to think that sequence is going to be shattered here.
You know, if you're Mark Gray, you're wondering about déjà vu, because this is exactly what happened yesterday in his singles match against John Schmidt. No danger there. Plenty of angle. You can swing this around the back of the 9 off 3 cushions. Loaded up with a lot of left-hand spin.
Well, as in rack number 2, this has been a super response by the Americans.
And also, Phil, noticeable. They're playing at the same speed, very comfortable together. And that's almost always a sign of confidence. You know, you start taking that little extra look and your rhythm is not consistent. That's when you know you're fighting your nerve. Looking good, the 2 Justins. 2-2. And this is terrific stuff here in Blackpool.
Now there's a familiar face from the world of pool. Yorkshire's Chris Melling. Mosconi Cup winner in 2012, as the graphic says. That year, he was the most valuable player on the team.
Yeah, great to see Chris. He's starting to play a bit of snooker now as well on the main snooker tour. So he'll be swapping snooker cue and pool cue, because you know he's not throwing that pool cue away.
Well, I'll tell you what, Joe Johnson, the 1986 world champion, who we both know very well, lovely guy, Joe. He is a big fan of Chris. He says he's got a lot of potential.
So it falls back to Team Europe again now to hold serve. And you can hear the crowd. Again, they're waiting to erupt. You just sense it. An arena like none other I've ever seen.
You're up to break. 2-2.
Yeah, looks like a shot at the 1. Mark is just having a quick look, really, to see if the 3 goes into the corner. So he likes the position from the 1 to the 2.
Yes, a few groans in the crowd, not realising that the 7 ball had gone in. It's not dry. It's a good break.
Well, this is going to be tricky. Niels is going to have to try and float this 2 into the corner pocket. And he's going to be cueing slightly over the 4 ball. So a real steady back arm required here.
Extension called.
And when you've got one master eye, and there's no doubt Feijen is very right-eyed, playing with elevated cueing is sometimes even more difficult than when you're right under the chin.
Steady as a rock. Never wavered. Look at that cue, how well it was delivered. And this 3 obviously passes. And again, he's going to contact the 4, the ball right next to the 3. So contact on the 4 has to be negotiated. He can just get through to this. Spin it and get the cue ball back out towards the middle of the table. No, that's a mistake. He caught the cushion first. He intended to hit the 4 ball first. So the first hiccup from Team Europe. Had he contacted the 4 first, Phil, he'd have been fine. And now Mark's going to have to kick at this off 2 cushions. Oh, good speed. Good speed, good recovery. Couldn't have asked for any more than that. But Team USA come to the table with the chance to control their own destiny.
30-second shot clock in operation throughout this tournament. 1 30-second extension allowed per match. Or should I say per rack, and Bergman has decided to take it here. Thinking time required. Wasn't really an issue in the first 4 racks because everything was open and they were potting for fun, all of them.
Not the easiest safety here, and that's why there's a little discussion between the 2 Justins. So much confidence exhibited by Captain Mark Wilson. Oh, this is risky, but it'll pay dividends. Boy, you have to trust the table and your cueing in a situation like that. But I was about to say, the confidence shown by Mark Wilson in putting these 2 rookies together. He knows they're friends, but having no experience other than day 1.
Couldn't get the snooker, but he could get the Chinese snooker. Horrible cueing here over the 6 ball.
Yeah, and again, impossible to get from the 5 to the 6. So you've got to try and duck in the position that Niels has left them in. He even looks tough from the commentary box. Great reply. Even a knowledgeable crowd showing their appreciation of that shot.
And I think that's great to see. Nothing wrong with partisanship and supporting your side, but also it's good to be fair.
Oh, he's bought himself a chance. That good safety from Justin Hall has bought his partner a chance now. But position isn't going to be straightforward. So a very good shot here required. He's going to have to spin the white. Well, good news, bad news. He won't be going for this, but he's going to tie up Europe. He's going to lock him up right behind the 8. And he played that at a speed to get that 6 as far away from that right-hand cushion as possible. Even though the hit shouldn't be too difficult for Niels, getting this 6 safe, another proposition altogether. And he's going the most difficult way. 2 cushions. He's got to hit just before the side pocket. Not a bad result. Possible bank shot on offer.
Well, Justin Hall is renowned as one of the best bank players in the game. It's a pity that Bergman's at the table.
Yeah, but he's playing within himself, Phil. And this is some terrific safety play we're witnessing here from both sides. From the kicking end of it.
Claw, dude, I'm telling you. Hey, let's just go out here and have a little fun. We're playing games.
Oh, this is a mishit. He's not left it terribly easy, but he tried to bring that right back down the center of the table. That was a mishit from Mark Gray, and he knows it.
Yes, and Gray believes, as I do, that Mr. Hall will knock this in.
I just can't say enough about how comfortable these two look. Making their debuts, both of them.
They're just about to lead in this match for the first time. We were wondering who would blink first. It's the Europeans. The Americans delighted. Bergman and Hall lead Feijen and Gray by 3 racks to 2.
Welcome back to Blackpool. We're at the Tower Circus. You're in the coastal town. And there you can see the order of play for day 2. We're in match number 1. And it's the Americas who lead 3-2. Still to come, more singles and doubles action right through day 2. The overall score, 3-2 to Europe. Team USA looking to get back to a 3-3 score, courtesy of the two Justins. And they have looked solid. Justin Bergman and Justin Hall, and it's the latter at the table right now. Saw him play at the US Open a couple months ago, Phil, and I was very impressed.
Well, the break yields the 6 ball. The 1 is on. Yes, in that US Open he placed 7th, Jim. Now, that doesn't sound spectacular when you first listen to it, but when you think 128 of the best players in the world turned up in Virginia, it was.
For me, the US Open, the toughest tournament in the world to win. It's an open tournament. You pay your money and you take your chances. Come one, come all. Now the big shot comes right here from the 3 to the 4. It's going to have to show a little cue power, Justin Bergman. Well then, how about that? He's also got a little fight in him. Well, I have to say I'm a bit surprised there. He definitely had a shot at the 3, and it looked like he might have been able to draw out off the 7 and the 5, but he saw it otherwise.
Extension called.
If he extracts the mistake here from Niels, he'll have made the right decision. And he did. Well done, Justin Bergman. I guess the ends justify the means, Phil.
Start the clock.
Well, Bergman's partner is known as Hollywood. I think there Bergman was the best supporting act.
Ensuring to leave his partner a nice angle. No problems now. This would be a massive point. Certainly one against the experts' pick.
They've got total familiarity with each other. They've grown up together playing this game, have a great relationship, and I think it's coming through in this contest. Rather unkindly in the programme, I note that Mark Wilson says these two are called Beavis and Butthead in the team. Well, they're not playing like Beavis and Butthead at all.
(4-2). Terrific performance. You just can't say enough from these two. Rookies on paper only. Showing very cool heads. Steady back arms. And the mistake extracted here, courtesy Niels Feijen. And they step to the table to mop up.
And when the 9-ball went in, it was a very muted crowd here at the Circus Arena. For the USA this week, I suppose in terms of crowd reaction, silence is golden, although those two were cheering heartily.
Yeah, it was Mark's wife, Kathy, just beside him. She's come over as one of the very few American cheerleaders. But she's had to play the role of many, and she's done a great job.
Rack 7, Europe to break, trailing 2 racks to 4.
And Mark and Niels know no more mistakes now. Didn't hear anything drop.
He's a really good cueman, Mark Gray. He once beat Jimmy White in a world ranking snooker event, the British Open. He can really play, but when you transfer from snooker to pool, one of the weaknesses sometimes the break-off.
No, very true. Mark has taken a lot of time trying to hone that skill. But all that practice breaking deserted him here. It's down to Justin Hall and Bergman now. first look at the finish line. And again, a very knowledgeable crowd. That was a tricky shot, keeping the cue ball in the middle of the table. If he can float this 2 in, he'll leave the 3 to the side. Everything will be there.
Justin Hall last night teamed up with Corey Jewell in the first doubles match to beat Darren Appleton and Carl Boyes. So he's contributed to the USA total already. It would be the first point contributed by Bergman. And the way things are going, it's on the cards very much.
And you don't want to let these young fellows start to enjoy themselves out there. It's going to make life very tricky for Team Europe if the young guns start having fun.
I made this point last night, Jim, but I think it's worth repetition. At the Glen Eagles, the Ryder Cup, the golf, the 2 rookies who shone for the Americans in a losing course, admittedly, but they were fantastic over the course of the 3 days. Patrick Reed and Jordan Spieth. I suppose when you come into an event like this and you don't have the mental scars from previous defeats, that can help.
Well, given what Team America has brought across the Atlantic this year, one thing you can rest assured of, Phil, is there's no negativity tolerated. None whatsoever. These guys live in the moment. Their expectations have risen, and so have their attitudes, and it's being shown.
15 minutes before the match, Mark Wilson said to me, "These two believe they cannot lose." I was sceptical. I shouldn't have been.
A huge point for Team USA. The first 6 in the 21st Mosconi Cup have been split, and Mark Wilson couldn't be happier. The 2 Justins provide a great surge for Team USA.
Wonderful result there for the Americans. They looked comfortable throughout the game and got the better of the European pair, taking their first points of the session. The 2 Justins are now over with Andy Goldstein.
Firstly, congratulations. I mean, a massive, massive point, and it was so important that the Americans won first up tonight.
Huge point, yeah. We needed to win. We needed it bad, and I'm honored to be a part of this event. It's amazing, amazing crowd. Nothing like that in the States, you know. I'm just so happy I won.
And while I've got you as well, I have to talk about the top of that rack, the lag that you had. What happened?
Oh, God. I thought the table was faster than that. I hit it bad. You know, I hit it terrible.
See, there'll be people watching at home going, that's what I do. You must be enjoying it as well. And you two play so well together. How much input do you have into who plays with who in the doubles?
I mean, we've played a lot together playing doubles, you know, ever since we were pretty young kids. So we're pretty used to each other's game. We play real similar, so we don't really, you know, it's pretty good.
I get the feeling that you guys like being the underdog this year, is that right?
I don't want to say I like it, but, you know, that everybody thinks we're the underdog, so that's fine. You know, I don't care what people think, you know. I don't. We just play pool, have fun.
And how are you going into each night? Is it about the session? There's 5 points on offer. Is it you must not lose the session tonight, or is it more than that?
I think it's a little bit more than that. You know, this point right here was huge. I think it's gonna make the outcome of the night. And we're just trying to win every match, trying to win every game.
Here's confirmation then of the result after that first match today. The USA have once again levelled the scores to 3 apiece. We have 4 more matches to come here in session 2. Join us next time for the singles game between Carl Boyes and Corey Jewell. For now though, the Americans can celebrate a good start, and they'll be hoping their momentum continues to allow them to take the lead here on day 2.